All right, let's get ready for baseball. We'll water the lawn just a little bit, get the helmets in there. Everybody's ready, just the way it's supposed to be. Oh, Yankees looking for the sweep. See what we did there? And Derek Jeter continues his quest for 3,000. And everybody else, Robinson Cano, Alex Rodriguez, want to just keep raking. As tonight, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Cleveland Indians in the final game of a 4-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Ken Singleton and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. 3 games against the Indians, 3 wins yesterday. It was by a score of 9-1, and the Yankees have done it in a variety of ways. The first 2 games, the home run was prevalent. Yesterday, the base hit was prevalent. Why don't we start off with the first 2 games?
Well, you're talking about this series, obviously, after it's kind of a bounce-back series from the Boston Red Sox series, but all of a sudden the Cleveland Indians run into town and the balls start flying. And if you'll watch this, if you haven't been to this ballpark, watch where this ball lands, up above the StubHub Club. I mean to tell you, the balls have been flying. The guys are hitting. Granderson and Teixeira together, bringing back a lot of memories from 1961 with Maris and Mantle. I mean to tell you, the Yankees the last few days in this series have really been clubbing the ball.
Well, on Sunday, no home runs for the Yankees, but they did pound out 18 hits. 7 different players had multiple hit games going, including Alex Rodriguez, who had 3 hits. Granderson, who scored there, had 4. And the captain, Derek Jeter, pounded a couple hits, drove in 2 runs. As Brett Gardner had a big day himself. The Yankees 18 hits and a 9-1 win. Let's check out the series against the Boston Red Sox. It wasn't so good for the Yankees. They lost all 3. They scored only 13 runs. You can see they hit .238 with 7 extra base hits, and the ERA wasn't very good at all. Against Cleveland, the opposite. They're 3-0. They scored 24 runs in the 3 games. Look at the batting average. They hit .388, 16 extra base hits, and the pitching has been just excellent.
We're talking a lot of hitting. We just got a call from Al Leiter and David Cohn. How about the pitchers? Why are you ignoring the pitchers? Well, because of that, when we come back on segment 2, we're going to look at the pitching matchup next on Yes. Four-game set between the Yankees and the Indians. That's Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Where's Paul O'Neill? He went to get something to eat. He will be back for the start of the game. We promise. Let's take a look at the New York Lottery pitching matchup. Carlos Carrasco will get the start for the Indians, 5-3, 4.52. And for the Yankees, A.J. Burnett, 6-4 with a 4.37.
Last 2 starts for A.J. Burnett. He's gone 1-1 on June the 1st down on the West Coast. In Oakland, he was very solid, had a very good breaking ball, 7 strong innings. He picked up the win. His next start, June the 8th, here at Yankee Stadium against the Red Sox. Not so good. He gave up 7 earned runs, including a home run to Big Papi, and a solid shot for a double to Jacoby Ellsbury. And he's 1-1 in those 2 starts. Carlos Carrasco gets the start for the Indians tonight. His last start came against the Minnesota Twins in Cleveland. He was very, very good. Only 3 hits in 7 1/3 innings. He had 6 strikeouts. He even got some help from his Flying Cabrera's in the middle of the infield as they turn a double play to help him out defensively. He came away a winner in his last start.
Well, the Yankees are going for the sweep before the Texas Rangers come into town. Derek Jeter's obviously chasing 3,000 as well. A lot of things on the line. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, all coming up next right here on Yes. Outperforms the competition at JaguarPerforms.com. By Acela Express, enjoy the journey. And by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. Well, the Yankees and the Indians, the fourth game of this wraparound series. Good looking little Charlie Sheen type hat with pinstripes on it. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup presented by Avis. Manny Acta put this together. Grady Sizemore back to the top of the lineup. A little change in this lineup. He'll DH and lead off. Carlos Santana, the first baseman, will bat second. Batting third and playing center field, Michael Brantley. As Drupal Cabrera, the shortstop, will clean up. Batting fifth and playing right field, Shin Soo Choo. The left fielder, Travis Buck, is going to bat sixth. Batting seventh and playing second base, Cord Phelps. Jack Hanahan at third base. He's going to hit eighth. And batting ninth and catching is Lou Marson. The New York Yankees have taken the field. And why don't we take a look at the Yankees defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Brett Gardner's in left, Curtis Granderson in center, and Nick Swisher is over and right. Let's take a look at the infield. A-Rod at third, Derek Jeter at short, Robinson Cano at second, Mark Teixeira at first, and Francisco Cervelli behind the plate with Alan James Burnett on the mound. Let's take a look at Burnett's numbers. So far this year, AJ is 6-4 with a 4.37. That's in 13 starts. 67 hits in 80 and a third innings. 34 walks, 60 strikeouts. Opponents hit 229 against him. And let's take a look at the Jeep pitchers scouting report, Paul.
Well, home sweet home. I mean, he's made 8 of his 12 starts at home this season, and those starts he's gone 5-2. On the road the rest of the year is 1-2 in all other starts. First inning woes lately hadn't been good. He's given up at least 2 runs in the first inning in 3 of his last 4 starts. And Russell Martin, last start, was the only other start this season that Russell Martin wasn't behind the plate. And we're going to try it again tonight. Francisco Cervelli catching tonight.
Now, Russell Martin, a late scratch out of the lineup today with Francisco Cervelli behind the plate, so he will have the same backstop as he had against Boston. Russell Martin's back has been bothering him. Yesterday, he seemed a little tentative, hit into 2 double plays. Looked like he was running stiffly, although he handled his duties behind the plate. IOTV offers an incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. So this is the final game of this 4-game set, and then 3 games against the Texas Rangers before interleague play begins again, and the Yankees will hit the road Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Chicago, and then back to Paul's home state. The Cincinnati Reds will host the Yankees in 3 straight games. Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Crowd filing into the stadium on this Monday evening. The lights are on, as it's been a somewhat cloudy day here in New York City, and we're ready for baseball. The Indians have not played well of late, 34-29. The Yankees are 36-27. Indians still hold first place in the American League Central, while the Yankees trail the red-hot Red Sox by 2 games in the American League East. The Red Sox are off today. The Detroit Tigers right behind the Indians. They're playing Tampa Bay. That game is in the top of the first inning, just underway at Comerica Park. Grady Sizemore will dig in. A.J. Burnett is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is high, and we're underway.
Oh, we were talking about Sizemore yesterday. He hasn't batted first very often this year, but this is the 18th game that he has led off. Primarily, he's been hitting mostly in the 3rd spot in the order.
Popped up. Alex Rodriguez drifts back and makes the play for the first out. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 69 degrees, humidity 53%. The wind is 9 miles per hour, and the forecast is partly cloudy.
Well, Michael was talking about the shakeup in the order by the manager, Manny Acta, and Santana batting second. The first time this year he has batted second. You got Cabrera batting 4th. The first time this year he's batted 4th. So he's moved things around.
Can you remember the days when all of a sudden you get some changes in the lineup, some changes going on?
And the change with Santana doesn't work early as he flies out to left.
Yeah, Cleveland's only hitting .225 in the month of June, so he's trying to get this team turned around. They've lost 14 of their last 18 games, including the last 3 here. Well, the Yankees have really outplayed them over this 3-game series.
Back to my point is you remember when you would come to the stadium and you see these lineup changes, and all of a sudden you kind of look at each other and say, you know, we got some problems here. The manager's trying to make some changes just to try to fix things here real quick.
Pitch to Brantley is low.
Here's an example. Brantley's first time batting 3rd this year.
Burnett has allowed at least 2 runs during the first inning in 3 of his last 4 starts, so he's looking for a good start here. Got the first 2 Indians, the 0-1. Pitch is high.
Yeah, they're definitely in need of a shakeup.
It's really just offensively. I mean, the pitchers have kept him in the game other than yesterday pretty much, and it's just you got to score runs.
1-2-3 inning for A.J. Burnett as he retires the Indians in order. Indians nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Bank of America. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, 7 hits away from 3,000. Curtis Granderson in center will bat second. Batting third, playing first base, Mark Teixeira. Alex Rodriguez, the third baseman, cleans up. Batting fifth, playing second, Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher's in right. Jorge Posada will DH. Brett Gardner in left field will hit eighth, and batting ninth and catching is Francisco Cervelli. Let's take a look at the numbers on Carlos Carrasco. 11 starts, 5-3, 67 hits in 65 and 2/3 innings. Not too many walks, 38 strikeouts, 268 average. And now here's the Jeep pitcher scouting report.
Well, stay hot. He's coming off his career best outing against the Twins. He went 8 1/3 innings, gave up no runs. He's a road warrior in his 6 starts this year. He's gone 3-0. And Cliff Lee, where'd he come in this scouting report? Well, he was traded. He was in that Cliff Lee trade originally. We went from Philadelphia in July of '09. Usually when you're traded in with a big name guy like that, you've got a lot of talent.
Cliff Lee's been traded twice since this guy's been traded.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter takes pitch outside. Derek needs 7 hits in these next 4 games to get to 3,000 before the Yankees head out on the road. And there's one of those hits. 6 to go for Derek Jeter. Hit number 2,994.
In my opinion, and Kenny, I think you'll agree with me, I think Derek needs one big game. And there's no way to start it. I mean, you get at a bat, a base hit, first pitch of the game, boom, you're on your way.
6 more, he becomes the 28th man in baseball history to pick up 3,000 hits.
Yeah, no chance for the third baseman Hanahan. This ball was smoked by him before he took maybe one step, and it's out to Travis Buck in left field. So Jeter off to a good start tonight. When you want to have a big night, that first at bat is the most important.
So much.
Here's Granderson, and there's a strike. Pitcher had the baseball, and they are going to keep those baseballs as he counts down to 3,000. Home plate umpire is Mike Muchlinski.
Jeter needs a night like Granderson had yesterday afternoon. He had 4 hits. 4 spot. 3 singles and a double for Granderson. It was his second 4-hit game of the year.
The 0-2. 1-2.
His other 4-hit game came on May the 24th against the Toronto Blue Jays.
I don't know if Carrasco, I mean, you come in, you've been kind of beat up by the Yankees the first 3 games, and in the 4th game, if you get behind, if you allow the Yankees to score, first couple innings, a lot of your team is like, here they go again. It becomes very tough.
Base hit for Granderson. As Kenny mentioned, he had 4 hits yesterday. That now 5 hits in a row. The Yankees have runners on first and second. I shouldn't say 5 hits in a row because he had a sac fly thrown in there. So literally 5 hits in a row, but not in 5 plate appearances.
Little sinker away, kind of just stayed with it enough to shoot it up the middle. You try to roll over this ball and it ends up a double play, but you see the ball running away. He kind of stays with it, doesn't roll over. You roll that top hand over and it becomes a double play to the second baseman.
Almost picked off Dan Iasoni. He had the best shot at it. Second base umpire.
There's Mark Teixeira.
Tell you what, Kenny, you know when you're going through slumps, you look out there, there's absolutely no room. You think the umpires do have gloves.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Teixeira's driven in 25 runs his last 22 games.
Count 2-0. There's a strike.
When you're a number 3 hitter and you're up there with some men on base and the pitcher's on the mound and he's in trouble. And sometimes pitchers look over in the on-deck circle and they see who the next guy is. They say, oh, man, I got to try and really get this guy out. I can't put this guy on.
You start looking on the on-deck circle when there's a 3-hole guy up there. Somebody behind him is pretty good, too.
Exactly. So, he's almost one pitch away from painting himself into the worst corner a pitcher can be in. Bases loaded, nobody out. Then a guy who's driven in 1,800 runs coming up.
And we talked the last series with Al Leiter, who was in here talking about pitching and how important it is to get through that first inning, try to get through it without giving up runs. A huge confidence builder, and obviously, when you've lost the first 3 games of a series, it's going to be tough. You allow the Yankees to jump out to a start again. The way their offense is starting to swing the bats, it'll be a long night.
Yeah, I like the way Granderson takes his lead at first base. He's in that starter's position like a runner.
Just getting ready to go.
Ready to go.
Now he can walk to second. Bases loaded, nobody out, and that'll bring up Alex. Only one man in the history of baseball has hit more grand slams than Alex Rodriguez, and that's Lou Gehrig. Alex is just one behind. He has 13 home runs this year.
And Alex had a really good road trip. Came back kind of.
He's hot.
Yesterday, the last 3 days against the Indians, I mean, he's hit a couple long, hard home runs. He's also driven in some runs. I mean, he's had a good series.
6 for 12.
Fouled away.
Another thing to remember, this is Carrasco's first ever start against the Yankees, which means the first time he's ever pitched in Yankee Stadium. And he's been watching the merry-go-round go around for the last 3 days.
Alex Rodriguez with 22 grand slams. The Iron Horse with 23. Jeter at third, Granderson at second, Teixeira at first. Nobody out, bottom of the first inning. A little bit off balance. Brantley will make the catch. Tagging is Jeter. Whoa.
Kidding me.
He's trying to draw the throw, and Brantley just held on to it, and Jeter didn't go. If he'd gone, he scores easily. I think Brantley was giving it up.
Yeah, I think that Brantley, once he saw he wasn't going, tried to regroup. Where am I going to throw it? You better get it in.
It looked like he took couldn't get out of the glove the first time, but again, I mean, this is a borderline play, and early in the game, you're not going to send Jeet in, but you're right. As an outfielder, your only chance right there, Jeet's going to give him that false start, make him draw a throw, then all of a sudden, your only chance, and like I said, as an outfielder, get that ball out, get it into the infielder's hands quick as possible.
I mean, you don't go if it's going to be a close play with Robinson Cano coming up next.
Cano 7 hits for his last 22 at bats. And a strike. Nine of Cano's last 20 hits have been for extra bases. 5 doubles, 3 homers, and a triple. Grounded foul, grabbed by Mick Kelleher. He just made a friend.
Every little kid, you get a baseball in the first inning. It's like the rest of the nights, just enjoy it. I've already got my ball.
Got a Margaret shot.
Yeah.
The 0-2. Look at those numbers with the bases loaded this year. 4 for 7, 9 ribbies.
Like the calm before the storm. The crowd is very quiet right now.
Grounded foul again. Battling against Carrasco.
Tough pitch right under Robbie's hands again. Carrasco, he starts off with bases loaded, gets a huge out from A-Rod. He's real close to trying to put Robbie away. I mean, this is a good hitter,
Pitcher with good stuff going at it right here with bases loaded in the first inning.
Yeah, Carrasco's in more trouble right now than he ever was in his last start against Minnesota. Gave up just 3 hits in 8 1/3 innings. Shutout ball.
Swing and a miss. So he wins that battle with Cano.
And you know, that pitch before, it was right up under your hand. You start to get a little quick with this front hip, and it kind of opens up, and all of a sudden that off-speed pitch. Really good pitching there.
Let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Travis Buck's in left. We haven't seen him in this series. Brantley and Chu, center and right. Infield, Hanahan, Asdrubal Cabrera, Phelps and Santana. That's third to first. Morrison behind the plate. Carrasco trying to get out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam without allowing a run. He's on the mound. And here's Nick Swisher. Nick has been hot of late. 6 of his last 19. He's picked up a hit. There's a strike.
You talk about momentum changes. I mean, you've got bases loaded, nobody out. You're looking for a big inning, and right here, I mean, Nick Swisher's hot. You've said it, but he's got an opportunity to get out of this inning with bases loaded without giving up a run. Big at bat for both teams right here.
One thing, though, that kind of driven his pitch count up a bit here. He's had to work his way through this. And now with 21, soon to be 22 pitches.
1-1. Ground ball up the middle as Asdrubal Cabrera fields and fires to Swisher. And what a job by Carlos Carrasco. Bases loaded, nobody out. He does not allow a run as the Yankees strand 3. But Derek Jeter led off the inning with a base hit. And with that base hit, he is just 6th away. Time for this moment in Yankees history, which is brought to you by Johnny Walker. Now we go back to 1948, June 13th. And it was too fast for me.
What? I was just going to say, how'd you read that?
I didn't. I think it was Babe Ruth's number when it got retired. Number 3 was retired.
Wow.
Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees, and whoever was handling that graphic had some Johnny Walker. Pitches inside to Asdrubal Cabrera. There it is. Yankees hold Babe Ruth Day, and they retire number 3. I was right. I'm a speed reader.
It's unbelievable.
Me and
That's
Evelyn Wood.
Subliminal right there. Came right back to you. Count
1-1. So the Yankees in the bottom of the first inning, bases loaded, nobody out, and they let Carrasco get out of it.
Mentioned this is Cabrera's first time batting in the cleanup spot. Now he kind of came out of it yesterday. The Yankees were holding him down, but he got 3 hits in yesterday's game. Paul, do you ever part of a big lineup shakeup? You know what I mean? You come to the ballpark, you used to bat third or fourth, and all of a sudden you look, what, I'm leading off?
Yeah, I don't know if I went to the leadoff spot, but I'd go to 2, go to 6, and like I said, it usually means that the team is struggling. If you struggle singly, they'll just bench you a day or two. But when they shake up the whole lineup, that means everybody's struggling.
Like picking the names out of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Foul back.
Wow. That ricocheted. That's as close as we've had a ball up
Very
there.
close. Yeah.
That is Rick Manning that's standing there pointing.
He just blew his monitor off.
That's Matt Underwood.
I hope they don't ask me to come over there and help fix it.
Rick Manning, longtime Cleveland Indians center fielder, Gold Glover, back in the day. He picked me a few times.
Doink.
So long to one monitor. Huh?
Just knocked the plug out. Rick Manning didn't move.
Well, his range isn't as good as it used to be. He could really run him down in center field.
One of our most aggressive announcers when it comes to foul balls is John Flaherty. Yeah. In Seattle 2 years ago, he almost knocked over Bob Lorenz in order to get the foul ball.
Yeah, I still think Bob has yet to recover from that.
Oh, I think it really jarred him. I think emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
He's scarred?
He is definitely scarred. I mean, he really batted him around. And then milked it. Like flexed for the crowd. A different side of Flash. 3-2. Driven out into shallow left center. And Brett Gardner's there for the first out. When Derek Jeter reaches the historic milestone of 3,000 hits, Yes is going to be there after the game for all the reaction with our tribute special, Jeter 3000, featuring an exclusive one-on-one interview with Derek and a look at all the great moments and milestones in the captain's career, plus comments from his teammates, past and present. Jeter 3000 will air immediately after the game when this historic hit takes place, and this comprehensive coverage is only on Yes. And Derek now just 6 hits away after his first inning single.
I was watching him today during batting practice. He hit the ball well, BP today.
Yeah, I mean, I walked out on the field. The first ball I saw him hit was in the left field stands. I'm like, Jeter feeling pretty good today.
There's a strike to Chu.
AJ actually had a couple of starts against Cleveland last year and pitched very well in both of them. He won both of those games. Once in Cleveland, once in New York. He beat Cleveland May 30th at Yankee Stadium last season. Went 8 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, had 8 strikeouts and no walks. That's his total against Cleveland last year. He was solid against the Indians.
Line drive, a base hit for Chu.
We talked about Chu's problems in Yankee Stadium going into the game yesterday. Boy, he has had all just bad luck as a hitter in Yankee Stadium. He's off to a good start tonight.
Sandy Alomar Jr., first base coach there for Cleveland.
Still bugs me. He hit a home run over my head off of Mariano.
Yeah, I remember that.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
1997.
Yeah. You know, the replay, you forget about things that you do on the field, and the replay of that was so. I even laugh at it today. I took my glove off and threw it down like a little leaguer does.
Here's Travis Buck. Buck missed the first couple of games of the series because he was in a cab accident. Got in a cab and they got into an accident. Got him all checked out. He's all right. I got in a cab today. I'm telling you, I got so nauseous. This guy stopped. Stop.
that bug you?
Oh my gosh! Is there something wrong with the transmission?
The other day, you know what's even worse? When I got in for the first series and it's 100, the guy's driving like that, and I got no air conditioning either.
Oh boy, never good. But at least they got the little TV screen in there now.
Maybe in yours, I didn't have a TV screen.
Cleveland had 5 stolen bases yesterday. So AJ's paying attention to Chu, and I think Chu had a couple of them. Yeah, he did.
Count 1-1.
Early in the homestand with Russell Martin on the bench with a bad back, Cervelli had a few opportunities to throw people out, and they ended up in center field. So, you know, it's got to be on his mind, and it also has to be on the visiting team's mind that you're going to make this guy throw us out.
Well, Kim reported on the pregame show today that, and as I was walking into the ballpark, Cervelli was out here working with Tony Pena on his throws to second. Oh, my goodness. At 330? Right over the top.
And that's the thing. He's been releasing the ball out in here, and that's why that ball has really been tailing when it gets to second base.
Snap throw to first. Chu gets back.
Well, they weren't working on the throws to first, but that was a pretty good one.
Just wanted to stay warm. He's got a feeling he's going. Wants to get his arm loose.
Pena was saying that the problem with Cervelli, and you can see he didn't do it there, is he's opening up his left shoulder. He said because trying to get rid of it too quickly, he said you have to point that shoulder to second base, keep it closed.
And it's all about, you see them all talking about keeping that ball straight. You want a four-seam fastball from a catcher instead of that two-seamer, which you run out into center field. Good change up there.
Fans might remember Travis Buck, the hitter from the Oakland A's. And Cleveland signed him as a free agent. Spring training invitee. And hit about 390 in spring training with 4 home runs and made the club.
It usually gets you on the team, doesn't it?
2-2.
AJ's doing a good job of making Chu just, you know, just sit there for a while. And as a base stealer, it's much harder to steal a base when you have to just get there dead-footed. And you know, if you could get a walking lead and kind of lean as you go, a much better jump. But AJ doing a good job of taking his time, making Chu just sit there.
Well, it really gives your catcher a chance.
Runner goes. That one's grounded into the hole. Retreating is Teixeira to get the throw for the second out, so Chu takes second.
Teixeira went for the ball and realized he couldn't get to it and slams on the brakes, hustles back to the bag. Now you'll see some first basemen continue on and rely on the pitcher to cover first base, and AJ Burnett was over there just in case. But it's a lot better. You're a lot better off having the first baseman handle the throw.
Well, if you're a Cleveland Indians fan, this has been the problem you've had during these losing days here in the past couple of weeks, is runners in scoring position. It's almost been impossible for them to drive runners in.
Indians were 0 for 16 in these situations, runners in scoring position, over the last 2 games. And over the last 9 games, they're 4 for 56. That's 071 since June 3rd.
Makes it tough on the pitching. You know, you just know you're not going to get a lot of runs. Makes it tough on everybody.
Cord Phelps takes a strike.
This is a young man who's had less than a week in the major leagues. He did well at the AAA level, though. Right? 40 runs batted in 55 games. That'll get you a promotion.
He's 0-2 with 2 curveballs, so AJ can go to that fastball out of the zone and the curveball in the dirt. Missed with that pitch. That ball was supposed to be down and in. Lefties love that down and in breaking ball, and if they love it, you know, you throw it out of the zone.
swing and a miss. And Cord Phelps down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the second, still looking for the first run of the ball game. Come out to Yankee Stadium tomorrow for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Rangers. The first 25,000 guests in attendance will receive a 2011 Yankees Collectible Cup, courtesy of Premio Foods. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. 7-8-9 in the Yankee order, and if anybody gets on Jeter, start with Posada. And he gets a base hit. He now has a 7-game hitting streak. Not too bad. He's 14 for his last 23.
Wow. Now, even though Carrasco got out of the jam in the first inning, bases loaded, nobody out, and got out of it, as we see Posada hit a little sinker right back through the middle, right where it's supposed to be hit. Take a look at Yesmo. The follow through, the head down. That's a perfect swing. Pitch is right there to be hit back through the middle. He tries to pull it. It's a ground ball to second. Well, anyway, he's on. But getting out of a jam in the first inning for any time with the bases loaded, you have to work so hard that could affect you the rest of the game.
Oh, sure.
Posada with that base hit now has his average at 230. And you see the difference in the start and the last 18 games. Brett Gardner takes outside. Gardner in the original lineup was batting ninth, and Russell Martin was batting here in the eighth hole. But it was scratched right around, I'd say, 6:20. Someone came in and told us that Martin had been scratched because of recurring back issues. So they moved Gardner up to 8 and Cervelli into the 9 hole.
In this series, Gardner's been the hottest Yankee. He's got 7 hits in the first 3 games. Yesterday was a fun day for him. 2 doubles and a triple.
Yeah.
If you want to see Brett Gardner run, yesterday was the day to be here.
It's funny, there were so many hits that you forgot how great a series Gardner's had, because everybody else was hitting the ball yesterday, but he has had a great series.
Brett is 12 for his last 24. And his average is at 276. Now he's got a 3-0 count against Carrasco. Gardner does not help pitchers out. He's not going to expand the strike zone for him. There's strike one. setting the defense.
That is Steve Smith. He's putting Santana behind Posada. Every once in a while, we've seen Posada take off in these situations. You're not going to hold me on?
Man, that's a walk, not even close. That might allow the Yankees to have Cervelli bunt.
See Tim Belcher, the pitching coach, he was shaking his head the first inning with bases loaded, and he's looking at that pitch count. That's what's really worrying him. I mean, Carrasco has good stuff, but he got out of an unbelievable jam in the first, but he's set the stage again here in the second. And Kenny, you know as well as I do, if you put yourself as a pitcher in enough jams, especially against the New York Yankees, chances are they're going to throw a big number at you.
Yeah, yesterday the Yankees were very strong with runs in scoring position. I think 7 times they came through.
Usually means you go home with a win.
Yeah, 7 for 15, I think it was. Cervelli's a pretty good bunter. You can see Cleveland expecting the bunt. Bet you the Yankees would like to have the runners reversed, though. They'd like to have Gardner at second, Posada at first.
Squares the bunt. Throw through. Posada, I believe it was in this series, got picked off at second base on that very same play where someone bunted through a pitch.
Here's a look at that pitch that's in there for a strike. Posada scampering back to second.
Now Cervelli will talk with Rob Thompson, the third base coach. Posada has been thrown out 3 times this season trying to advance an extra base on a hit. So you might say, is that a big deal? No, the Yankees been thrown out more than once this season attempting to stretch a hit.
Again, you talk about it. If Georgie Posada right here, you see him start to lean because you want to get a good break. Right there, he knew he was caught. I'll tell you what, if you've just been in that position a few days before, you're not going to get caught leaning too much tonight. But it's almost a catcher's duty now that if they bunt through a ball to throw that to second and see if they catch that guy leaning.
Cervelli bunts it. Foul. So now the count 0-2. Does Girardi take the bunt off?
You know, this really surprises me because, you know, Robbie Thompson came down the line and probably saying, you know, sure, we want you to get the runners over, but, you know, you can do it any way you want. And a lot of hitters will, you know, take a shot at trying to drive that ball, try to drive a guy in.
Cervelli 205 overall, but 308 with runners in scoring position. Breaking ball, strike 3. Cervelli down looking. Unproductive at bat for the Yankee catcher.
That's the second time he threw him that same breaking ball. First pitch was almost like the third one there.
Well, here's Derek Jeter. He singled in the first inning, so he is 6 away from 3,000. And that young lady is keeping score with us.
Would you say, Michael, when he got to about 5 is where he said he would get on his mind?
Yep.
So we went away from that before we officially can say it's on Derek's mind, too.
Paul, I think he's fibbing. I think it's on his mind.
I was going to say, I tell you what.
He said after the game yesterday, I'd be lying to you if I told you I haven't been thinking about it. Yeah, I'd love to do it at home. He said when he's on the on-deck circle, people are constantly talking to him about it.
You know, that's one of the things people ask me about Derek Jeter. It's one of the things I noticed with him that I've never noticed with any other player. When he goes on the on-deck circle, he has conversations with guys in the first and second row. I mean, most guys are looking at the pitcher, you know, trying to get locked in, this and that. Derek only needs that 15 steps to get locked in before he gets there.
2-0.
On the road, the fans aren't as friendly either.
No.
You go on the road, they can say all kinds of things.
He'll occasionally talk to a kid here at home. Should I swing at the first pitch? Like engage the kid. 3-0. Carrasco deals. There's a strike.
That's a 3-0 strike. You know, anything close?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you're rooting for him to get hits. You want that to be a strike.
There's a lot of movement on that pitch.
It had the corner.
Close. Problem was it was an outside target. He had to reach across the plate. Again, you're right, Michael. If he gets a hit because of that, he's happy.
3-1. Off-speed pitch, swung and missed.
You see Carrasco's off-beat pitch has the same movement as his fastball, and as a hitter, that's what makes it tough. You don't pick up the seams. You don't pick up speed on the seams. You pick up movement. And when the changeup and the fastball have the same movement, usually the spin on them is the same, and that's what makes it tough.
It's a changeup at the right time. Let's see what he does here. 3-2.
Dribbled slowly to third. There's one. That's all they'll get. So no base hit there for Derek. He's 1 for 2.
Like a little sinker, and Derek making contact, but rolls over it. And hand-to-hand, plenty of time to get the runner at third on the force, but he realized the ball not hit hard enough to get a double play, so he holds on to it.
Here's Granderson. Four hits yesterday. He hit in the first inning. The Yankees had runners at all bases with nobody out in the first inning. They were loaded. They didn't score. Now they had first and second, nobody out. And Carrasco again, one batter away from getting out of it. But pitch count's getting up there as well. The inside move to second, but Gardner is not fooled.
And just like we said with Posada, if that just happened to you a day or so ago, you're usually pretty ready for it. And that's how Brett Gardner was caught stealing the other day. That inside move from the pitcher, and he tried to steal third.
It's not going to work twice in a week on
no.
No.
Count 2-1.
So Carrasco uses that four-seamer inside, and that's what keeps it straight on the inside corner. Has trouble throwing that ball in. You see it backs up just a little bit. That's a tough pitch. That's a better pitch.
That was better than the previous one. Here's the target for Marson. And I guess maybe it came around the plate. We get a better look here. Yeah, that's inside.
Really?
Just a hair. I don't want it called on me.
Not much you can do with that pitch as a hitter. I mean, the only way to hit that ball hard is to open up and hit it foul.
Well, that's going to release the base runners. 3-2 with 2 outs.
One thing I see about Carrasco in the early going here, Paul, and he's not afraid to throw the changeup at any time. You know, when he's behind in the count, he'll throw a changeup. Did it to Jeter. And he just did it to Granderson.
And hitters counts too. 3-1, 2-0. You could throw that off-speed pitch in those situations. Hitters, over the years, it's possible, but you're so involved in trying to hit that fastball.
Granderson fouls one off his foot, I believe. And no covering, no guard.
That never feels good. Jeez. Right on the arch.
Runners will go to 3-2. And they're getting them running in. Granderson's driven in a run in 4 straight games. That's a season high for him.
Well, the runner's getting anything in the gap here will score 2 runs.
3-2. Fly ball left field. Travis Buck will put it away for the final out. So again, the Yankees cannot get the big hit. No runs a hit and 2 men left. We've played 2. There's no score. It's time for the Toyota Text Poll. Tonight's question is, should Major League Baseball realign both leagues to 15 teams? Your choices are 1 yes, 2 no. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. I will vote no.
I will too. We talked about it yesterday. It's just,
I don't want interleague play every day. Right. And what we mean by that, if you have 15 teams in a league, only 14 could play each other, so to speak. So one team, unless there's always one team off every single day, you have to play interleague. Lincoln scoreboard, no score. Hanahan grounds it foul.
Now, this is the proposed realignment and playoff expansion to 15-team leagues, as Michael said. The Houston Astros would actually move to the American League. What they're going to try and do there is create a rivalry with the Texas Rangers. 84 games versus the same league, 78 games versus the other league. Top 5 teams in each league make the playoffs. And the 4th and 5th place teams have playoff to decide the 4th seed.
It gets a little confusing once you get past this part right here.
Just because of that, I'm going to vote no.
That's right.
Well, I mean, also, is there only going to be one Cy Young Award winner, one MVP? You almost play the same amount of games against the other league.
Yeah,
and now you're going to say, okay, maybe the Yankees and the Red Sox, 18 games is too much. What are you going to cut it down to 12?
Yeah, then you play the Mets like 21 times.
Well, there's Lou Morrison. Fly ball, right field. Swisher for the second out. I think what Major League Baseball is trying to do in their own way is just have the Yankees play everybody, because when the Yankees go somewhere, they sell out. And you want to get the Yankees in as many cities as possible.
Or the Red Sox, for that matter. You know, that's I don't know. When you start fiddling around too much, then it convolutes everything. And what does it do to all the previous records and all that sort of thing that were set in one manner or another? Mm-hmm. You know, that's.
You know, people here don't realize it because they have an opportunity to see the Yankees play every day. But there were people in Cincinnati in April talking about the Yankee series, and they grouped the tickets for the Yankee game with other tickets to sell more. I mean, it's that important to bring the Yankees into play.
Oh, we've seen that in other places too. I mean, if you want these Yankee tickets, you got to buy tickets to see.
Yeah, you got to buy 6 other ones too, or you know, other series and things like that.
Count 2-0.
Tell you what, Michael. The other day, I'm walking in the ballpark, going through the tunnel. I go by the visitors' clubhouse.
Right.
Luca Kuzin, Screech, as I friendly call him, says you'll have the best cheesesteak ever. He just brought out, and all I got to do is say, "Wow!" It really, they shouldn't feed the visiting players that well. To tell you the truth.
So they sent some up here.
Oh, they're tremendous.
How many did they send actually?
There's one for you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Lou.
I'll tell you one thing. The Cleveland Indians might hate playing here, but they'll love eating here. And so is that little guy.
He's wearing it.
AJ had a false step on that last one.
Sizemore popped to A-Rod in the first inning. He's 5 for 13 in his career against A.J. Burnett. That's .384. And now he's 6 for 14 as he lines that one to the wall. Nick Swisher comes up throwing, and Sizemore is in there with a double.
Well, here we go again. I mean, runner in scoring position, if it has anything to do with it, what has happened in the past, you see Sizemore all down, not a lot of movement. That's why he was able to put that on the barrel, drive it to right field. But if the pass has anything to do with it, this should be an easy out for A.J. Burnett.
As mentioned early in the series, Sizemore had 32 hits and 21 of them for extra bases. That's his 15th double to go along with 7 home runs.
Not your typical leadoff.
No, that's probably why they dropped him down. But back in the leadoff spot today.
Santana had a fly ball to left field in the first inning. Takes a first pitch breaking ball strike.
In the first 3 games of the series, Cleveland has never led in any one of the games.
Tried to pull that off speed pitch in the count 0-2. Santana 1 for 26 since May 8th. That's 173 with runners in scoring position. 1 for 26 is not 173. That's the whole season. The 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. They will tag out Santana, and that will do it. So again, they do not come through with a runner in scoring position. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. There's no score. Hey, during this Yankees homestand, we want to remind you there are ways to save money and conserve energy in your home. And the first pitch to Mark Teixeira is outside. You can save up to $700 on your energy bills and make your home safer and cooler this summer. To learn more, go to getenergysmart.org. Hot shot, foul ball. Carrasco needs a somewhat easy inning. And usually that's not the way it works. Opponents hit 205 first time through the order against him, 295 the second pass, and 311 after that.
I was just watching Santana make an effort to catch that ball, and that ball, he was close to catch, and you know, he's 6 feet inside the line, and that ball ends up, you know, 10 feet foul. It just goes to show you how much that ball hooks from a left-handed hitter when they pull the ball. I mean, the ball is never straight when it goes to right field or left field from an opposite field hitter.
That's why they say the outfield, center field might be the easiest position to play. All you need is speed because the ball comes almost directly at you.
That ball was here when he dove for it and ended up here. I mean, that's and you know, that's only 90 feet. So a lot of movement on the baseball when it's hit hard.
Lincoln scoreboard, there's no score. The 3-2. It's outside, so Teixeira will walk for the second time.
Teixeira's been on base 9 times in this series.
Tim Belcher. You haven't seen his eyes much tonight. He's looking down at the pitches and the pitch count.
Well, he knows if you keep putting guys out there, eventually somebody's going to come in.
You know, little Chief Wahoo doesn't seem like he should be laughing the way Carrasco's pitching. That was right after ball 4. Just a helpless feeling.
There's no defense against base on balls.
Here's Alex. 1-0.
Alex on a breaking ball up in the zone the first time. So you gotta, as a hitter, you gotta remember that if you get deep in a count again, that he likes to go to that breaking ball.
All 6 Yankee outs so far tonight for the Yankees have come with runners in scoring position. Nice slick play by Rob Thompson. Smooth.
Bare-handed, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? That hurt a little bit. That hit the end of the fingers.
I have a question about that. They have the third and the first base coach wear helmets, which is smart. Well, why can't they wear a glove?
Hard to wheel guys in with a glove on your hand.
Well, you could drop the glove, I guess.
Throw it down. You know, you're going to have catchers down there in 10 years from now. You're going to be in a squat position with a catcher's mitt and a mask just in case.
Anything for safety. So Thompson gets the ball, tosses it in. Oh, no.
It's all worth it, though.
Got the ball.
Ouch. Don't act like it hurts. Don't rub it.
The 2-2. 3-2.
Deep counts, Kenny. These are adding up. I mean, if you're doing a pitch count, it just continues to rise in these deep counts. Michael, you said he needs a quick inning, and Tim Belcher is just figuring out how he can get him through 5 or 6 innings and stay in this game.
Runner goes. That one's driven to right field and deep. Chew back. Near the track. On the track, he makes the play. And then fires behind Teixeira, who gets back. Chew covers a lot of ground out there.
Yeah, he's a good outfielder. He's misplayed 1 ball in this series, and that's because I think he lost it in the fans during a day game. But you know, we've talked about his offensive struggles a little bit. He's a solid outfielder with a great arm. Good jump on the ball.
Sure, almost to second base there, and now he has to scramble to get back. See the home plate umpire? It's his job to get down there and make the call at first base if he has to. And Mike Muchlinski gets down there. You'll see the first base umpire down the line, and there you see the umpire. They cover each other.
He's a rover on that one.
Yes, he is.
Base hit to left field by Cano.
Almost get the sense that if Robbie wants to do that every time that he can, he just kind of gets bored at going to left field, and then he gets out of the zone, tries to pull the ball once in a while, lets the ball get real deep. See how far he almost hits it behind him. He stays on it. Got a firm front side that way. Just drives it to left field.
He's been a good hitter in his career. This is in yes mode. It's going to look even nicer here.
Watch the bat give a little bit. Oh, see, kind of wobble when it hits. That feels good.
Almost a .330 hitter in his career against Cleveland. There's some teams that just seem to throw your speed. Everybody on the team.
Here's Nick Swisher. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the first inning. He grounded to short to end the inning.
I see Nick Swisher, even on his takes, that front shoulder, he's trying to keep it in there, but it wants to open up. It wants to open up, and that's what you don't see on the right side, and that's why he's been so successful from the right side.
Grounded to second. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. A 4-6-3 double play. So the Yankees are now 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 3 here at the stadium. A lot of runners left on base, no score. The second spot in the order.
Wow, that's a good question.
I don't know. We'll all find out in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Michael Brantley. And let's check out the Home Depot hitter scouting report on Michael Brantley.
Well, good pedigree. Son of a former major leaguer, Mickey Brantley, who played for Seattle in the 80s. Better against righties. I mean, he hit 172 against lefties last year, so he needs to improve on that. CC Sabathia, I always like to bring the pitcher and another name in here.
How'd that get in there?
Acquired by the Indians as a player to be named later, and that sent Sabathia to the Brewers.
Oh, okay.
A lot of trade guys in this lineup tonight.
Well, the Indians in rebuilding from the team. I believe it was 2007. They were up 3-1 against the Red Sox in the ALCS and ended up losing. The Red Sox went on to win the World Series that year. And the Indians knew that in their market, they could not afford to keep their star players. That's driven to right field. It is going to be off the glove of a diving Swisher, and it rolls to the wall. Brantley round second. He's going for 3, and he's going to make it. So a triple to lead off the 4th. Valiant try by Nick Swisher. The ball wouldn't stick in the glove.
Ball hit right on the nose. Swisher gets a great break on it. Right off the end of his glove.
Take a look at the Coors Light freeze cam on our next one. Here it is.
Watch Nick reach out. It just off the fingertips. And it turns into Brantley's second triple of the year.
Cabrera grounds one softly to first, but it kicks foul. Anyway, after they lost in the ALCS, they said, we're going to have to start trading people because our farm system is barren. They traded Cece. They traded Cliff Lee. They traded Victor Martinez. And what they did was they really built up their farm system a lot. They got a lot of players, and now they think that they're going to be a contending team next year or in 2013 for sure.
Well, they're kind of contending this year, aren't they? First place.
Yeah. I still don't think people believe because of what they've gone through the past couple of weeks. Pitch by AJ there that they're going to stay there all year. You know, they're in first place. You read the paper, but you see the teams below them, and you think, you know, Detroit, the better team on paper. So I don't know that people will really believe that this team can win until you get to the second half of the season and they're still in this place.
The 0-2. Can I be honest with you guys?
Yeah.
I don't believe they're going to contend.
You know, watching this series it's very hard because they've come in here with no offense. But then you look back at the stats, how, you know, they scored runs early, and are they willing to go out and maybe get a player or two if they stay in it? We'll have to wait and see.
1-2. Chopped through the left side for a base hit. So they finally get a hit with a runner in scoring position as Drupal Cabrera, batting 4th today, picks up the ribby single, and the Indians are up 1-0.
Yeah, he and Travis Hafner on the disabled list have been their best hitters with runner in scoring position. And in this at bat, he was hitting .426 with runners in scoring position. That's going to go up a bit as Brantley's going to score easily from third base on the hit by Asdrubal Cabrera.
It becomes such a mindset as a hitter. And Kenny, I know you remember as a player, there's just certain years that it seems like every time men are on base that, you know, you get hits and you start to believe it. You know, all right, man on base, this is the time I get a hit, and it becomes such a mindset of becoming successful.
You know, being a good RBI man is wanting to be up there in situations with men in scoring, but you want to be up there.
Before the hit by Cabrera, they were 0 for 18 going back to Saturday with runners in scoring position. And now with the 1-0 lead, they're leading for the first time in this 4-game set at any point in any of the games.
I'll tell you what, watching Carrasco the first 3 innings, you would never believe that it'd be a 1-0 game in Cleveland's favor in the 4th. I'll tell you that. He's been in trouble every inning. Somehow has gotten out of it.
Cabrera had a couple of stolen bases yesterday. He is yet to be caught this year. He's 9-0 in stolen base attempts. I mean, he's having a good year. All-star type season.
I tell you, Kenny, the first night we talked about, you know, future stars in Cabrera. If you look at what he can do on the field, I mean, good hitter. Watch him take batting practice. Does great things at the plate. I mean, defensively, I mean, he's got great numbers. So that's one guy that you definitely, you know, pencil in the lineup and know that you're going to be able to build a good team around him.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. So Chu is down swinging as Cabrera advances to second on the ball in the dirt. They say he went on the wild pitch.
Again, a lot of breaking balls that Burnett throws, especially for strikeouts, end up in the dirt. So as a runner at first base, you have to lean. As soon as you see that ball in the dirt, you're gone. Even if the catcher comes up with it cleanly out of the dirt, very tough play to continue to go and throw you out. See the knuckle up on that ball? Good strikeout pitch. Tough pitch to control for the catcher to throw out, throw a runner out.
Burnett has 9 wild pitches, and that leads the American League. So another runner in scoring position for the Indians, and now Burnett wants to talk with Cervelli.
You're looking at Cabrera out at second base, and he does wear number 13. And a lot of shortstops from Venezuela wear number 13 in honor of Davy Concepcion.
Played with Davy, and one of the greats as far as fielding. Actually, he invented a play that people don't use as much because a lot of the AstroTurf is gone out of the game. But anytime he went to the hole, he intentionally threw that one hop to first base. And which was Tony Perez at the time. And at the beginning you thought he doesn't have the arm strength. It was an intentional play, and a lot of young Venezuelan boys grew up watching Davy Concepcion. Great player for the Cincinnati Reds.
The Big Red Machine. A lot of people think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, Tony Perez is Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, and he was part of that team. I mean, in my mind, there weren't too many shortstops in the game at that time that were better than him.
And he could hit too.
He hit over 300 a couple times.
Manager of the Big Red Machine in the Hall of Fame, and if not for his betting indiscretions, Pete Rose would be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. We're talking about the late Sparky Anderson.
Runner goes. That one is driven to right field. Nick Swisher's going to make the catch. Can they double him up? No, they can't. Getting back is Cabrera.
That's where the third base coach has to all of a sudden throw up the get back.
Yeah, and this is, believe it or not, the only thing I can think about there is how much that hurts your toes when you've got to stop on that hard dirt and with those metal spikes on a dime and get back. Burnett begging for that double play, but Swisher did a good job of getting it in. Cabrera too quick.
The first time up, they struck out young Mr. Phelps with breaking balls. I think 2 called strikes and then a swing and a miss. Or you didn't see many curveballs like this. Well, that's a fastball in AAA.
No.
Cord Phelps picked up his first major league hit here at the stadium earlier in this series. It's going to be interesting to see what the Indians do. One of the leaders of this team is Orlando Cabrera, who plays second base, and Cord Phelps does too. And if you're going to have Cord Phelps up, you certainly want to play him. So what do you do with Orlando Cabrera?
They brought him as a good luck token. It seems like everywhere he goes, he wins. I talked about it a couple days ago. Cincinnati won, Minnesota won, Anaheim, Boston. Seems like wherever he shows up, they seem to somehow sneak in the playoffs.
The 0-2. He could not hold up. Another one in the dirt. And Cord Phelps strikes out. But the Indians take the lead. 1 run, 2 hits. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 1-0 Tribe. Granderson has hit 16 of his 20 home runs from the 2-hole. Who was the last player to hit 40 home runs in a season from the second spot in the order?
Joe Morgan hit second with a big red machine. Did he hit 40?
I don't know if he hit 40.
Let's see.
I can't think of who this is.
Posada takes low. This is the last guy to do it. It's a second baseman, National League.
Soriano, we talked about him, right? Did he do that
But
with
he was
the
in
Cubs?
the outfield then.
Ryan Sandberg.
Wow, Ryan Sandberg.
Batting second? Don't you think the Cubs would have dropped him down to third?
Well, they had Andre Dawson on that team, too. They couldn't drop him down too much.
Did the Cubs win that year? No, they didn't, did they?
No, you never really have to worry about answering that one.
That's right. That's a good point. Nice question, Kenny. That's something I'd ask. Did the Cubs win the World Series that year? Oh.
They should have dropped him down. They would have had a better chance.
Yankees go to Wrigley Field this weekend. Friday afternoon game, Saturday at 4, and Sunday night.
You're a big fan of Wrigley, Mike?
Yeah, I like it. That one's driven deep to center. As Brantley puts it away. I know Joe Girardi's very excited. Went to his first game at Wrigley Field as a 5-year-old. His dad took him. I said, why'd you become a Cub fan? He said, my dad brainwashed me. Drafted by the Cubs, played with the Cubs, and now he's taking the Yankees in as the manager. Pretty neat.
I played my first game in the big leagues at Wrigley Field.
You're going to be there with me.
Yeah, took my first 0 for 4. Broadcast my first game at Wrigley Field.
You had your first big league night out in Chicago, right?
That's the way Michael looks at it, huh?
You know what? He's
Rush Street stamped on your forehead over there.
The thing about it, he's right, though.
Other than New York, the best city in this country.
It's a great city.
Summer. Don't show up there in December. Now.
Yeah, you're right about that, too.
Popped up. Coming on is Chu for the second out.
So Michael, I told you I was going to play in a golf thing today, so I show up to the ballpark today with my golf bag and everything straight from the tournament.
Right.
Juvenile diabetes. It was an awesome tournament. Justin Tuck, NBC sponsored, and Justin Tuck was the guy kind of ran it. And
the host.
He's the host. Well, he greets people now as, hi, Justin Tuck. No, I don't know when the lockout's going to be over. Good day out there today.
How'd you shoot?
I did okay. We did all right. Switch groups. So if you switch groups enough, one of them is pretty good.
The pitch to Cervelli is a strike. Now, we talked about the 1990 Cubs team with Sandberg. Girardi was actually the catcher on that team. I asked Girardi what was the best part about going to the game as a 5-year-old. He said Ron Santo pizza. He said that's a big staple, and he became very close with Ron Santo, and obviously was devastated when Ron passed away.
I think one of the great injustices in baseball is Ron Santo's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't understand that to this day.
A lot of people in Chicago don't.
I mean, there aren't that many third basemen to begin with, but certainly he was one of the best of his era at third base. Yeah, I think he won like 7 Gold Gloves.
Hit over 300 numerous times.
Yeah, he 340, 350 home runs.
Swing and a miss. And the first 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Carrasco. So that's what he needed. He needed a lead to settle down. 1-0 Indians. We go to the 5th.
Thank you, Nancy. Fans Wednesday, actor John Turturro sits down with Michael Kay for an all-new GMC Presents Center Stage. The Brooklyn native chronicles his successful stage and screen career, including his rise to fame and his portrayal of Billy Martin. It's a new Center Stage Wednesday at 11, only on Yes.
Nice night here in New York City. Tiny feet on that guy.
Short legs, too, huh? Like Dorf.
The pitch to Hanahan. There's a strike. 8-9-1 for the Indians. Hanahan, Morrison, and Sizemore. Count 1-1. 1-4-0 Indians, 0-4-0 Yanks. The 1-1.
This is 2-strike count. This is where A.J. Burnett has been throwing that slider or curveball down in the dirt, getting a lot of swings from the left-handed hitters.
Tried to sneak the cheese by him that time.
There was a curveball that just didn't quite make it to the dirt, and got a piece of it. See, he's trying to just almost bounce this curveball. Just stayed up enough.
Strike three.
Good pitch.
Hanahan struck out twice tonight.
See, a lot of them have been outside. That's a backdoor breaking ball. You give up on from a left-hander. You give up on it because you pick it up out here and it's outside. Then it comes all the way back into the corner.
Muchlinski, who we have not seen behind the plate, seems like he's a bit of a pitcher's umpire. Gives you a little bit off the plate. Nothing outrageous. Kenny, Paul, if you guys were ever on the road, you went to dinner, and you saw the umpiring crew in the restaurant,
I wouldn't.
Would you ever send over a drink or something?
Yeah, I see it better, but I'd send a note with it. No, that, you know, it's funny how you, away from the field, you would see these guys, or even walking in, you would be polite, but it's just like life. You know, there's some of them you like and some of them you don't. And the ones you don't, you usually end up arguing with.
Kenny?
No.
The 3-0.
I think umpires just hung out where I did.
Yeah. I'm trying to really think if I ever saw him. Yeah, I guess you did a couple of times.
Grounded to short. Tough hop for Jeter. 2 outs. Now, just to finish up the point that Kenny was making about Santo, Ron Santo, not in the Hall of Fame. Lifetime average of 277. Brooks Robinson, who is in the Hall, lifetime average 267. Santo at 1,331 ribbies, and Robinson 1,357. Robinson had 2848 hits. Santo 2254. And Santo had 5 Gold Gloves, and I believe that Brooks Robinson had 16.
Yeah. The major difference is that Brooks Robinson played in World Series and had a great World Series, where he's the MVP in one of them. The one against Cincinnati Reds in 1970, where he put on a clinic at third base and had a good series with the bat as well. I think that's the major difference. That Santo did not appear in any postseason, and I don't think that should be a deterrent to getting in. If not his fault, his team wasn't good enough.
Well, as you said, Billy Williams is in.
And Ernie Banks and Ferguson Jenkins, all Cubs in his era.
The 0-1. 1-1.
And now, you know, if I'm not saying it's going to happen, if the Veterans Committee eventually puts him, he doesn't get to enjoy it because he passed away. I just don't understand why he's not in.
2-1 to Sizemore. Sizemore's 1 for 2 today. Popped to a third and then doubled to right. Top of the 5th inning. Indians lead 1-0, trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Yankees. Hammered sharply, backhanded there by Teixeira, flips to Burnett, and that will do it. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Derek Jeter is 6 away from 3,000. One more bat as we count down to that magic number. Can he pull to within 5 in front of family and friends and fans? Stick around. Videos and photos of the captain. Take a look back at his career milestones and test your knowledge with Jeter Triple Play Trivia. It's all just a click away at YesNetwork.com. And here is Derek Jeter to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. He had a single in the 1st and then grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd. So he's 6 away from 3,000. He has a remainder of this game and 3 more to try to do it at home before the Yankees hit the road for 6 games. The right-hander Carrasco deals, and that one is looped to right field. Chu is there, and Jeter is out on the fly ball to right.
That first pitch swinging again, ball kind of ran in on his hands.
Carrasco's got good movement on the fastball. That one just ran right up on right underneath the label of the bat.
Well, you watch Jeter. I hate to say it, but watch him get out of the box.
Yeah, a little something happening there, huh?
He walks slowly to the dugout as well. Here's Granderson. Pitch outside.
See him come out of the box and didn't feel right.
Grounded to first. Santana. And boy, as Carrasco settled down, 2 away. Yankee trainer Steve Donahue follows Derek Jeter down the stairs, and Derek kind of loses the helmet quickly. Here's Mark Teixeira. Shift is on. 3 infielders on the right side. We're in the bottom of the 5th. And a strike.
When you said it, Michael Carrasco, all of a sudden now he's pitching ahead. I mean, you have to realize how good he was to get out of those jams in the first and second, but now he's pitching ahead and it's become that much tougher.
Yeah, the first 3 innings he was pitching in some choppy waters, and all of a sudden the seas have calmed down a bit.
Yeah. A couple Houdini actions, getting bases loaded, nobody out.
But the problem for him is he's got 75 pitches thrown already.
Just a breaking ball there.
Well, he is retired 8 in a row with a double play finishing up the third. We played 5. It's 1-0 Indians. Lacrosse by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop, and by Dwayne Reed, your city, your drugstore. Well, Derek Jeter has been taken out of the game, and let's see if we could find out why.
You look at all these swings, it's got really nothing to do with the swing, but you watch him take off and something grabs. It's either the hamstring or the quad. There's only two things that right there. And he went straight to the dugout, straight up the tunnel, so he knew something.
Right there. And Eduardo Nunez takes over at shortstop. So that adds a whole nother layer of question mark about the 3,000th hit. What if this knocks him out a couple of days? If it does, then that really hurts his chances of getting that hit at home. Or if it's a more serious injury, he has to go on the DL, again, not speculating, then that would probably enhance his chance of getting it at home. After Cincinnati, the Yankees come home for Colorado and then Milwaukee, and then they play at Citi Field. That has really got to frustrate Derek. Grounded to first. Santana retired.
Let's go back to the second at bat when he grounded to third. Now watch at the very end here. We're not saying this is what caused this injury, but you see him lunge for first base. Seems to be okay right there. And he did stay in the ball game.
Yeah, we're really frustrated. As you get older, every once in a while, there's no rhyme or reason why things happen. I mean, it just, you take off with something you've done over and over again, and then you see a fly ball here to Granderson, and it goes right back to Cologne the other day. I mean, just a short burst to first base, and it's a hamstring, so I would have to wait and see. Michael said we can't speculate, so we'll just wait and see what they say about Derek.
Well, none of us have our doctor's degrees. So.
No.
Well, we don't find out before the end of the game, and I guess we should hear something. Well, of course, Kim Jones will be in the clubhouse after the game. You'll hear it on the post game with Nancy Newman and Kim Jones. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. He has the only RBI of the game. Jovan Brantley from third in the fourth. Hey, the Yankees had their opportunities early. They had the bases loaded, nobody out in the first, didn't get a run in. They had runners on first and second, nobody out in the second, didn't get a run in. They had first and second, one out in the third, didn't get a run in. And since then, Carrasco certainly settled down.
Tim Belcher, the pitching coach over there, said, I knew we could do this all night, right?
Well, they saw him do it in his last start against Minnesota. He was superb in that start.
He has a 13 1/3 scoreless inning streak, Carrasco does. Grounded to Mark Teixeira. Pretty play. Steps on the bag, and that'll do it. So 9 in a row for A.J. Burnett after that Asdrubal Cabrera RBI single in the fourth. So the Indians go down in order, and we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Yankees trail this one 1-0. Nice play by Teixeira. To the official hybrid of the New York Yankees. Alex Rodriguez will lead off the bottom of the sixth inning. It's cap night here at Yankee Stadium. Sharp-looking caps given out. Alex fouls one away against Carrasco. Eight in a row retired by the young right-hander. Alex has flied to center and fly to fairly deep right field, right down the line.
Took something off that again. I tried to explain it early. When that changeup has the same movement as the fastball, it has the same spin. And you pick up the spin, you know the movement, but he's taking just enough off to get Alex out in front, and then he goes to a slider.
And a strikeout of Rodriguez.
You know what? Maybe getting out of that jam in the first few innings here has given him confidence, and now he's settled down.
And now, Kenny, his pitch count's in pretty good shape. 79 with 1 out in the 6th.
And again, the offense of the Cleveland Indians is the main part of the problem here in the last couple of weeks. I mean, you've got a guy that worked out of jams. He's thrown a shutout, and you still look up at the scoreboard, and it's only 1-0.
That's a base hit by Cano, his second one to left field. He's 2 for 3. Starting to hit a lot better. He is 9 for his last 25. That one bounces in front of Travis Buck.
You saw him drive one earlier in the game. This ball's a little bit up. Just continue. I mean, that stroke right there will never get him in trouble. He hit enough home runs with guys trying to come in on him, but if he can cover that ball outside and stay with that approach, Robbie's a 320 hitter, and you won't see him in the 200s.
Here's Nick Swisher. He grounded to short and then wrapped into a 4-6-3 double play. 80 pitches for Carrasco. Count 1-0. Got a full moon? Just a little less.
It's like there's a little miss in there.
It's like a big egg up in the sky. Or cantaloupe. Which one's the Sea of Tranquility?
Wow. You got me. You got that one, Michael?
I think that's the East River. Pitch is high. With his 13 2/3 scoreless innings, he has the longest streak of scoreless baseball right now in the American League as Nick Swisher lines it to Phelps. Now it's 14 innings as there are 2 outs.
Swisher's had some bad luck tonight. He grounded into the double play, hit that ball hard, and now he lines out to second.
Every once in a while, in a 162 game season, you have nights like this. You get up the first time, bases loaded, nothing. You get up the next time, double play. You dive for a ball in right field, it goes off the end of your glove. It's just, you'd rather just turn over in the bed and maybe get rid of this day and start tomorrow. Days like that, Mike?
All the time.
Yeah.
Pitch outside, 1-0.
You don't show it up here, you're on your game.
You know what? You have to do your job.
Now you got real serious.
That's what Carrasco did against the Twins. 1 out into the 9th inning to 1-0. And Marson wants to go out and talk with him.
Wow, you guys both just must have got in the closet for the summer colors today. I'm looking over here. I got Kenny with his little Marlin outfit on. Michael, what do you call this?
This is peach or orange, I guess?
This is teal, isn't it? This is teal, what you call it?
Yeah, I think
like an
so.
Easter egg
well,
hung up
you
there.
got a little green tiger going there.
We got all the colors.
This is the
working.
first time ever you packed for 10 days, 10 games.
I know. I had
a lot of outfits, yeah.
I didn't know I had a bag that held that many suits.
Here's a 2-0 to Posada. Grounded to first. Santana will step on the bag, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Beautiful sky outside Yankee Stadium. Where you going? Don't leave. It's a close game. And the question was, should Major League Baseball realign both leagues to 15 teams each? You've been texting us at 58772, and here's how you voted. No, resoundingly no. 63% to 37%.
So you're a politician. You say, I'm voting no. Everybody's on the bandwagon with you.
So many people follow me. Cadillac scoreboard 1-0. Indians lead the Yankees.
I think one reason why they're thinking about it, because the American League West only has 4 teams in it. I think that's one reason.
Yeah.
And we mentioned the fact they want to have somewhat of a rivalry between Houston and Texas.
Ground ball to second.
But Texas is the second most populous state now, is it?
I know one thing. Down in Texas, they're not thinking about baseball right now. They're celebrating.
That's right. Congratulations to the Mavs.
Yeah.
Matchup tonight. Both starters have done well. Carrasco's given up 5 hits, Burnett 4, but the Indians have squeezed 1 run across. Burnett hasn't walked a batter. Carrasco's been in all sorts of trouble early, but he's settled down since. Quite a pitcher's duel here. Count 1-1 to Travis Buck. We just get word that Derek Jeter left tonight's game with a sore right calf. What do you think, Dr. O'Neill?
I'm thinking a lot's going to happen tomorrow if that sore calf becomes strained tomorrow. I think that, a calf muscle can grab at times, and just like a hamstring or a quad can. So tomorrow it will be a big day when he gets out here and see. See, he didn't want to put any weight on it. Frustrating to be right in the middle of this and all of a sudden feel something.
Swing and a miss. The ball gets away from Cervelli, and Buck is going to get to first. So it's a strikeout and a wild pitch.
Well, he talked about the good stuff of A.J. Burnett. Here's an example. Going to get Buck to swing at. Man, that wasn't even close to a strike. But Cervelli can't handle it. He gets some leather on it, but the ball caroms over near the dugout of the Cleveland Indians, and Buck has plenty of time to get down to first base once he realizes the ball wasn't caught cleanly.
Here's Cord Phelps. Struck out twice against Burnett. Runner goes. That one's grounded up the middle. Grabbed there by Cano. He'll take the out at first. So the runner going. You know, it could play both ways. Would Cano have been moving up the middle? Would that ball have gotten through? If not, and Cano just would get there anyway, would have been a double play.
Yeah, like Maniac, they're trying to make some things happen. You see, he puts the runner in motion, hit and run.
No, it would have been a double play because Nunez was covering.
Yeah, that easily would have been a double play.
That's twice tonight they've had the runner on the move.
Ever have any calf problems, Kenny?
No, I didn't run fast enough to get leg interest.
Again, I mean, if that's the first time he felt it and he goes in and gets treatment, and tomorrow he gets up and it'll loosen up, he'll be fine. But if it's something you strain, then obviously you've got to get some time off. Very frustrating. Wow. Either he got crossed up or
they're going to talk this over.
That's
yeah,
right.
I don't know where it got. Cervelli, but they seem to be joking about it. Let's see.
Well, you don't see the pitcher put his arm around the catcher very often. You see he's going over there for that breaking ball, and that ball went the other way.
He was lucky to get some leather on that.
Yeah.
The signs changed when there was a runner at second, and there was a miscommunication.
The 0-2. Lined into center field, and Granderson is right there, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base at the end of 6.5. Tribe leads the Yankees 1-0, but we're going to stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Thanks, Nancy. Here, bottom of the 7th inning, Yankees trail 1-0. We'll take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, brought to you by McDonald's. Derek Jeter got a hit the first inning, left the game after the 5th inning, a sore calf. Curtis Granderson got a hit, 5 hits in the last 2 games, 2 walks for Teixeira, 2 hits for Cano, a single for Posada, a walk to Gardner, and Cervelli 0 for 2. So Carrasco has settled down. He has 87 pitches. It'll be Gardner, Cervelli, and Nunez on the Cadillac scoreboard. Indians 1, Yankees 0.
Yeah, we talked about Carrasco. His career outing was last time out, 8 1/3 innings against the Twins without a run. An opportunity to give up a lot of runs early, but all of a sudden you look up at the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees yet to score.
He's been their best pitcher of late.
Joe Smith and Tony Sitt.
I mean, Cleveland has lost 9 of their last 10 games. The only game they won was the one that Carrasco pitched.
Right. That was with the shutout. You got to win those, right?
There's a strike to Gardner. The Yankees would love to get Gardner on, and then you could get creative. Francisco Cervelli is on deck. The 3-1. Fouled away. Gardner's 0 for 1 with a walk. Has 8 hits in his last 18 at bats, 12 for his last 25. Now 8 for 19. He just bunted with 2 strikes, and he strikes out. Wow. Did he forget how many strikes there were?
I don't think so, because he walked immediately to the dugout. What he saw was Hanahan was way back at third, and he's figuring he's going to get a fastball and lay it down. And it was a ball. You can see him saying that it was a ball, so it would have been ball 4 anyway.
Wow.
You know, every once in a while, as a hitter, as a player, you just get this quick thought, and you don't have time to let it get out of your mind, and you do these things. That's ball 4. And,
Ooh.
you know, it happens.
I mean, I was so shocked. I had to check. Did he just have 2 strikes?
Well,
You looked at me, and I couldn't help you.
I looked at the scoreboard and it said 3-2, and I said, man, maybe the scoreboard's wrong.
And then you start to think, well, maybe the scoreboard was so quick they already put that 2nd strike up. But you just couldn't believe that he bunted with 2 strikes. You start to second guess. Took a chance, and he's been red hot.
And it's ball 4.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Carrasco is night and day from where he was in the first couple innings. Everything he has now, he can throw for strikes. Breaking ball, sinker, changeup. Tim Belcher looks much more relaxed, doesn't he? Now that Indian smiling on his hat, Michael, means something.
One thing we're seeing here, though, now he's up to 97. His first 2 hitters went to 3-2. Now he's 2-2, getting a little deeper in counts here. He's getting near the 100 pitch mark. That's why the bullpen's going.
Swing and a miss.
A lot of movement on his pitches. 6 of his 7 strikeouts have been swinging. That looked like a little spinning slider. Didn't really do much, but maybe to change his speed. Had Cervelli out in front.
You see on that slider, he's kind of on the side of the ball. Why it doesn't get a lot of break, but just enough with, you know, to take the velocity off and get Cervelli looking in on with that 2-seamer. You throw that slider away. There's a good one there. I'll tell you what, if you're the Indians, you really got to be proud of the way this kid bounced back after being all the trouble he was. Young kids that take the mound, a lot of times.
Slow roll to the 3rd. Going to be a tough play. Throw to 1st. Got him. What a play by Hanahan. He took a base hit away from Eduardo Nunez. Just a great play. The only way he can make it, bare hand, fire across the body, and they just get the speedy Nunez, and Carrasco loves what he sees.
Robinson and Ron Santo, great third baseman. These are the plays they made back in the day. As Hanahan comes up, throwing off balance accurately and just ahead of the speedy Eduardo Nunez. Got him by half a step.
Wow.
That was a tremendous play turned in by Jack Hanahan.
Lou Morrison will lead off against Burnett. And the count 1-0.
We're talking about Carrasco. A.J. Burnett not doing a bad job tonight either. He's had good control with his fastball. The strikeout pitch has been his slider in the dirt, especially the left-handers.
Hyundai scoreboard 1-4-0, leading 0-5-0. That's a good fastball.
Yeah, good two-seamer, good movement there. We talked about Freddie Garcia. He had that really bad outing against Boston. He had a really big bounce back start. You know, same with A.J. Burnett. Didn't throw his best against Boston. Tonight's been very good, but still losing 1-0.
Another good sinker. Now, the most pitches Carrasco's thrown in a game this year has been 103. So I think he's just a little bit short of that.
2-2 inside.
And that was a game way back on April the 2nd against the Chicago White Sox. Well, check that. He threw 104 in his last start.
Grounded up the middle, through for a base hit. So Morrison leads off the 8th inning with a single. Voting is now open for the 2011 All-Star Game in Phoenix. Help send your favorite New York Yankees to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Yankees.com. Cast your ballot now for your 2011 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Vote today at Yankees.com. Mike Harkey has not answered the phone as of this point, so no one warming.
No, they're starting to move around.
There is some stirring now.
You know, if you saw that picture out there, Mike Harkey's going to have to stand on his head to read that scouting report. It's upside down. You see, Cleveland, they kept the Indian on the hat, but they've changed their helmets to that little black little block C. It reminds me of my high school. I went to Clinton High School, and that was the way our hats looked.
Kenny, tell him you would not have survived Clinton High School in New York.
Hey, I tell you what, Clinton High School in Columbus wasn't much better.
Clinton High School in New York City is tough.
Really?
It's tough. You would have gotten beaten up.
That's all right.
Now, he was a star player.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Where is Clinton High School?
Clinton High School is in the Bronx. And it's right next to Bronx Science, where I went to. And the guys from Clinton would beat up the guys in Bronx Science.
I was going to say, you don't like Clinton because you got beat up.
No,
a few
I like
times.
Clinton. I never got beaten up. I knew which way to walk. Just don't walk past Clinton.
See the connection between our childhood, Michael?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The 0-2. Strike three. Beautiful pitch to strike out Sizemore.
I think he took something off of that one, too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the lefties were getting that ball down and in the dirt. And I think you're right, Kenny. He kind of went to a bigger breaking ball and just threw it for a strike.
And watch this Sizemore. He's way out in front. Looking for the express and got the local.
There's Carlos Santana. That's the breakdown on the pitch count, 103 overall.
Now, Paul, if you grew up in Columbus, that's about halfway between Cincinnati and Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah, dead smack in the middle.
It's the capital of the state,
yeah,
right?
Capital of Ohio.
Now, were you a Reds fan or Cleveland?
Well,
fan?
you know, when you grow up in the mid-'70s,
yeah,
and become a baseball fan as I did, I mean, that was the height of the Big Red Machine.
Yeah.
So, you know, you jumped on the bandwagon. It was very easy to be a Reds fan in the mid-'70s.
Did you get both teams on TV?
Well, back then you didn't get a lot of games on TV, but now in Columbus you do.
Okay.
And you know, both those markets are trying to draw from that Columbus area. And they're so into the Buckeyes that they don't even go to either game. So
high fly ball, deep left. Gardner makes the play.
Did you ever go to any games in Cleveland?
You know what? Yeah, I can remember my first one. No, actually, I thought you meant Cincinnati. I went to a game in Cincinnati. I never, as a child, went to a game in Cleveland, and it was like a summer vacation when you drove down to Crosley Field, and you know, that was back in the days where, you know, parents took their kids to games.
So it was your first game in Cleveland when you played for the Yankees?
Yep.
Your first game ever?
Yeah, with
Wow.
ice on the lake and the football line still painted on the field. What a beautiful place.
The field was always wet.
70,000 opening day, 700 the next day. We talked about it though. Jacobs Field, Michael, in the in the 90s, one of the better places to play baseball in all of baseball.
Well, they had a much better team.
Yeah, better team, better stadium.
I wonder with that team, with all those stars, if there wasn't a Jacobs Field, if they would have been able to fill Municipal Stadium every night.
Well, I think they would have. You know why? Because back in the late 40s, they had great teams, and they did fill them. You know, back in the days, Bob Feller and Larry Doby,
Al Rosen,
and Lou Boudreau, and
Bob Lemon,
yeah.
Tony Sipp warming up.
Early Wynn, Mike Garcia. They had some great pitchers. Very good teams.
Now, Cleveland, I mean, it takes a lot of stuff, but I mean, it was a good sports town. I mean, the Browns, I mean, they were loved by Cleveland until they moved, and it's a good sports town when teams win.
You know, Al Lopez was the only manager that won a pennant in the American League other than the Yankees in the 50s. Al Lopez was the manager of the Indians.
In 54.
And then in 59, the manager of the White Sox.
Yeah.
Every other year, the Yankees went to the World Series. Here's the 3-0.
They lost both World Series.
One to the Giants and one to the Dodgers. (3-1) to Brantley. Now 3-2, and that will release Morrison at first. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Cleveland leads the Yankees 1-0. The run came in the 4th inning against A.J. Burnett. Burnett and Carrasco locked into a pitcher's duel. Runner goes. Pitch is inside, so it's ball 4. I was wondering if it hit him, but no, it did not, so it's ball 4. And Joe Girardi is going to signal to the bullpen after the Brantley walk. So first and second with 2 men out. Good job by A.J. Burnett. He threw 112 pitches. His team did not get him the runs early when they had the opportunity. So he is going to leave. He's on the losing side. And he gets a nice hand from the crowd in stark contrast to when he departed after his start against the Red Sox. We'll be back. First and second, 2 outs. Stay where you are. entertainment on the Ultimate Network. Fios and Network ahead. Good matchup. Yankees against the Rangers. Alexi Ogando out of the bullpen into the rotation and maybe into the All-Star game. 7-0, 2.10. Sabathia 7-4, 3.15. Our coverage begins at 6:30 on Yes with the pregame, and then we'll have the game on My 9 right around 7:07. Well, Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by AT&T. And that call brings in David Robertson. And just from the looks of things, I don't think AJ was thrilled about being taken out of this game. He wants a chance to win it, but as Drupal Cabrera has been very tough. Those are the numbers on Robertson. First and second with 2 outs.
I think the thing with Strubel Cabrera, he's an all-star in the waiting here, and I think Joe Girardi wanted to give him a different look. Remember, he's hitting well over 400 runs in scoring position. He's driven in the only run tonight. And it's kind of ironic. This is the first time he's batted cleanup all season long, and he comes up in a key situation late in the ball game.
Great numbers. Robertson deals the 2-0. Strike. Burnett, strong outing, 7 2/3, 5 hits. The runners on base are his responsibility. Just 1 walk. That was the last batter he faced, and 8 strikeouts. Now the count is 2-2.
Well, this is where Robertson has been so good lately. Getting back in the count, 2 strikes, putting guys away.
He's got a couple ways to do it. Great breaking ball and a fastball that it's improved. And we've seen it at 95, 96, haven't we?
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Grounded to first. Teixeira will take it himself, and Robertson comes on and gets the job done. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. AJ's night is over. Yankees try to climb back in. Well, the crowd, 43,551, including Michael Imperioli of The Sopranos. Big Yankee fan. And he needs a Yankee rally. Granderson, Teixeira, and A-Rod. It's going to be against Tony Sipp on relief of Carlos Carrasco. So they bring in the left-hander. This could be just for this one batter. Although Granderson has certainly not been bothered by lefties this year. Those are the numbers on Sipp.
Only 16 hits in 27 innings, 23 strikeouts. You see that as a scouting report, you figure he's got pretty good stuff.
Granderson 1 for 3 tonight. Singled in the first. Sharp ground ball to second, but Phelps is there, and there's one away. Now, Acta is going to leave Sipp in there to face Teixeira. Haven't played at a bigger part of the ballpark. But we might see Pestano come in to face A-Rod.
The reason why Sipp came in to face Granderson, lefties haven't been hitting Sipp very well this year. 091. That sounds like a bingo number.
Yeah, that's not good.
Count 1-0.
The right-hander's only hitting .210 against him, so he's having himself a good year.
Orlando Cabrera took over for Phelps, so that was Cabrera who got the assist there. Teixeira walked twice against Carrasco and struck out. Sipp deals. 2-1. Deep drive, right center. Brantley back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. He'll make the play. Teixeira gave it a ride, but too much room out there.
Take a look at the swing. He got good wood on it, but I don't think he quite had his best swing.
He had those hopeful eyes, though, that the ball was going to carry for him as a hitter. Those are the ones that you hit and you think might have a chance.
Oh, so near and yet so far.
And Brantley could smile about it now. So that's it for Sipp. They will bring in Vinny Pestano to match up against Alex Rodriguez. Matty Acta trying to salvage the final game of this 4-game set. Pestano against A-Rod. And Pestano can't wait. Neither should you. Stick around after the last out for the WB Mason postgame. Nancy Newman breaks down all the action from this finale with the Indians with updates from around the major leagues. Plus, Joe Girardi's press conference and Kimberly Jones with the reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the postgame, and it's only on Yes. Well, we've seen Vinny Pestano already in this series. He's got good numbers. Young right-hander. 1.64, 29 strikeouts, 22 innings. And the pitch to A-Rod is a breaking ball strike.
You see A-Rod look out of there. You know, you coming out of the bullpen, you want to get an eye on his fastball. He throws him a nasty kind of lock-up slider. We talked about it the first time we saw him in the series, Ken. He's got that crossfire delivery. Got to be tough on righties to pick up.
They gave up the home run to Teixeira the other day, but he did strike out 2 hitters in the inning that he worked.
See, he stands all the way on the one corner, the right side of the rubber, and then he uses that crossfire delivery to get out to that outside corner. Tim Belcher checking everything out.
Two and two.
Crossfire. I mean, those kind of sidearm crossfires, they usually have a delivery that, you know, they usually don't throw that hard. That was 94.
Yeah, usually you see left-handers doing that to left-handed hitters. You remember that?
Yeah. Wasn't my favorite, believe me.
With Jesse Orozco?
I don't even think about him. That was bad news. Oh, A-Rod jumped all the way back from 0-2 to 3-2. Hasn't seen a pitch in the whole count on the inside part of the plate, so I guess if you're hitting, you have to look away.
Mariano obviously felt good about this at bat. Big smile on his face. And the 3-2. Missed outside, so A-Rod did come all the way back to work a walk against Pestano. And now you've got Cano coming up as a go-ahead run.
This is what drives managers crazy. I mean, you've got Sip in there who is absolutely shutting down lefties. So you bring in Pestano to get that one out against a righty, and he walks him, and now you've got Pestano facing a lefty, and a good one at that, Robinson Cano. Tim Belcher, do you remember when I see him on the phone, and it reminds me of the one game where he gave up the big home run. He was tearing the phone off the wall in the old Yankee Stadium.
Looped out to Hanahan, and that will do it. So Cano goes to left field for the 3rd time in this game, but this one into the glove of Hanahan. Let's take it to the 9th. 1-0 Indians. Yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772, or you can vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Carlos Carrasco, number 2, A.J. Burnett, number 3, Asdrubal Cabrera, and number 4, Robinson Cano. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. And Robertson still in there, deals a strike to Chu. Dribbled slowly third base side, but foul. Chris Perez has not had a chance to close a game in a long time. The closer getting ready.
He's been pretty solid in his job so far this year.
Robertson has held lefty batters to a 175 average this year. And now it goes down. There's that breaking ball in the dirt. The out is made at first, so strikeout, put out 2-3.
He's got to be on some kind of strikeouts per 9 innings. Man, he just
lately it's all been strikeouts.
Tomorrow, 2 playoff teams from a year ago face off when the Yankees host the Texas Rangers. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then after the final out on May 9, come on back to Yes for Yankees Extra Innings presented by Tri-State Ford. And Wednesday, we've got full game coverage starting at 6 only on Yes. And there's a strike to Travis Buck. Grounded to third. 2 outs here at the top of the ninth. And that's going to bring up Orlando Cabrera. Remember, he took over defensively for Cord Phelps in the previous inning, so this will be his first at bat. Cord was 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground ball to second. Strike.
One of those games, Kenny, you look back that neither of the starters deserved to lose this game.
Yeah, they both pitched very effectively.
A.J. Burnett on his game tonight. Carrasco on his game. Carrasco early in the game, the Yankees let him off the hook a couple times, or he pitched his way out. Either way you want to look at it, but then really settled down. But it's amazing. Yesterday, what was it, 18 hits, and you come out today and can't score a run.
Robertson is averaging 15.12 strikeouts per 9 innings. And that's second in the major leagues behind Al Albuquerque.
They're using that Al Albuquerque name a lot this series. You know that? Brought him up a couple times.
And there it is. We'll bring him up again. 16.11 strikeouts per 9 innings.
When you have good years, your name's brought up a lot, right?
Al Albuquerque. That's a great name.
Good city, too. You ever been there?
Albuquerque, yes,
Mexico,
once I think.
Yeah. It was in Texas League years ago.
That's one league I missed. I missed Albuquerque.
That's a hot league.
My father pitched in Albuquerque.
You did?
Yeah, I think it was AAA back then.
You got to keep the ball down there because you're up in the mountains, the ball flies.
The 2-2. Lined into left center field, and Gardner's right there. And Robertson gets all 4 batters he faces, works a 1-2-3 ninth. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? It'll be Nick Swisher, Jorge Posada, and Brett Gardner. They'll do the honors against Chris Perez. Tonight after the postgame, catch WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper looks ahead to the Yankee series in his hometown, Chicago, including his memories of his first time visiting Wrigley Field. And Joe really speaks in depth about all the hit batters in recent Yankee games. The Joe Girardi Show tonight after the postgame, and catch a new episode Sunday at 7:30 only on Yes. Well, the closer for the Indians finally gets a chance to appear in this series. It's Chris Perez. And you see his numbers, 15 saves, 18 hits in 23 innings, too many walks, and 13 strikeouts. So he doesn't stop you from hitting the ball, but he does get outs, 2.70 ERA. Nick Swisher will start it off against Perez. It's 1-0 try. Yankees looking for a sweep. The Indians looking to salvage the final game of the 4-game set. And there's a strike to Nick Swisher. You don't hit home runs against Chris Perez. He has not allowed a home run in his last 57 and a third innings. That's the third longest streak in the American League.
You see, again, he's got that low arm angle, keeps the ball low in the zone, got that slider.
C.B. Buckner says strike.
Been very consistent every time he's asked it to strike.
Joe's not too pleased.
That's whether he's behind the plate or at third base.
I think he might have gotten that right.
Looked like he went.
Home plate umpire was not calling that a swing until Marson asked. A 1-2. Strike 3. Swisher down looking.
Brought up earlier in the game. This is just one of those nights. Not much went well for Nick Swisher tonight. Had some opportunities early. Tough pitches there. Perez kept everything down with the fastball, got ahead in the count. Hit one with a slider down and in.
Now Perez has 15 saves. 8 of them have been perfect, where he's retired every batter he's faced. Mariano leads the majors with 11 perfect saves. Here's Posada. Pitch outside. Jorge is 1 for 3. Extended his 7-game hitting streak in the second inning with a single. If you just joined us, Derek Jeter had to leave the game. In the 5th inning. And he hurt his calf running out of the box. Right now they're listing him as day-to-day with a sore calf. Count 2-1. And here's how he hurt himself in the 5th. It's hard to really tell. Something just gave right there. Nancy Newman and Kimberly Jones will have the latest from the clubhouse, so stick around for the postgame.
I'll tell you what, this Perez, he keeps the ball down. He throws hard, 94, 95. He's got a short little quick slider.
And some movement on his fastball.
The 2-2. Strike 3. Posada down looking.
Tough pitch. I mean, he just struck out Swisher with a slider in, and you're on deck. You remember that. All of a sudden, he throws that 95 right on the inside corner.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So it leaves it up to Brett Gardner. Gardner, 4 times he's faced Perez. He has 2 hits in his career against the Indians righty. Pitch outside. If it holds up, Carrasco gets the win, and A.J. Burnett would be the hard luck loser. Yankees had opportunities in the first inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Couldn't get a runner in. Second inning, first and second, nobody out. Couldn't get a runner in. First and second, one out in the third. Nick Swisher wrapped into a double play, and that was really the last time they threatened and the last time they had a runner in scoring position.
Sometimes as a player, you're going through games and you get opportunities early and you just take it for granted that those opportunities are going to be there all game. All of a sudden, the starting pitcher finds his stuff. You get into the bullpen. And we've seen some good arms out of the Indians' bullpen tonight.
The 2-0. A strike. Gardner's just trying to get on. Then let his feet do some work. Francisco Cervelli is on deck. Russell Martin scratched from the starting lineup. His back acted up again. Don't know about his availability.
Yeah, doesn't have a bat in his hand, so that tells you he's not in the pinch hit mode.
Yankees have Andrew Jones on the bench, and the lefty is Chris Dickerson. But if Martin's not available and you pinch hit, the game is extended. That would put Posada behind the plate for the first time all year. But you worry about that if Gardner gets on. Right now, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No need to worry about it. He strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down. Swisher down looking. Posada down looking. And Gardner down swinging. And the Yankees lose a tough one. 1-0. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. Well, the Indians take 1 out of the 4. And that one foul tip, but held on to by Marson. And Perez gets his 16th save of the year. And the ball game is over, much to the dismay of Brett Gardner. As Drupal Cabrera drove in the only run. A single through the left side in the 4th inning. And it held up. We'll be back.